Farewell to the Great Mother Shinsi Celestial on her journey to the 10,000-year world. Xiefeng. February 12, 2024. Translation edited by Qinyu. At 1:40 a.m. on the fourth day of the first month of the Chinese lunar year in 2024, the Great Mother Shinsi Celestial of Lifechanyuan concluded her 92-year journey on Earth and embarked on her journey to the 10,000-year world. With reverence, all members of the Lifechanyuan community kneel in respect, bidding farewell to our Great Mother as she joyfully embarks on her wonderful journey spanning 35,000 years in the 10,000-year world. The Great Mother Shinsi Celestial was not only one of the pioneers of Lifechanyuan but also one of the founders of the Second Home community. Over the past 18 years, she devoted everything to the cause of Lifechanyuan, contributing to the most splendid civilization of humanity. She not only dedicated all her property to the cause of Lifechanyuan, but also brought her 2 sons, 2 daughters-in-law, and 4 grandchildren into the community. Her remarkable merits are evident to both the heavens and the earth. Her radiance shines as brightly as the sun and the moon, while her achievements remain evergreen, akin to the mountains. Since the founding day of the Second Home community on April 18, 2009, the Great Mother Shinsi Celestial has worked in the community for 15 years. She endured the changing seasons and traversed from Linzhou in Hunan Province to Taiyuan in Shaanxi Province, to Siba in Yunnan Province, and then to the Heavenly Guesthouse, the first branch, the third branch, the fourth branch, Katayer Home in Xinjiang, secluded mountain villa in Lijiang, and finally, Paradise Beyond the World in Guizhou. Throughout her journey, she faced storms and difficulties fearlessly, tirelessly working at the forefront of community construction, despite being over 80 years old. Especially during the 2 years of construction at the fourth branch, she single-handedly managed tasks such as lighting fires to cook meals for over 70 fellow community members. She also often visited the vegetable garden to pick fresh produce. Her video interview during her time at the fourth branch will always be remembered by us. She appeared gentle and smiling, speaking with confidence as she enthusiastically shared the benefits of living in the community. When asked by reporters if she would consider returning to the secular world, she firmly replied, "No, I want to live in the community." The deeds of the Great Mother Shinsi Celestial convey to the world that for the elderly, the most beautiful life can be found in the Second Home community of Lifechanyuan. The life of the Great Mother Shinsi Celestial was a glorious one, constantly radiating the light of love. She was cheerful, optimistic, insightful, and extraordinary. Her extraordinary spirit touched heaven and earth. She had already severed worldly ties, repaid karmic debts accumulated over countless lifetimes, and amassed abundant treasures of the heaven. The quality of her life had already surpassed the standard of the celestial beings in the 1,000-year world and reached those of the 10,000-year world. Unfortunately, she had not yet undergone the practice of supernatural powers and thus could not reach the Celestial Islands continent. However, we believe that one day she will one day make it there. We look forward to meeting her one day in the Celestial Islands continent. While the departure of the Great Mother Shinsi Celestial is a significant loss for the community construction, it is a moment of great joy for her personally. Her transition from the mortal world to heaven is an event worthy of celebration. Let us remember her gentle and compassionate demeanor as we bid farewell to our mother on her journey to the celestial world and express our sincere wishes for a smooth journey to the 10,000-year world. Mother Shinsi Celestial, we wish you a safe journey. Please do not worry about us. Rest assured as you embark on your journey to the 10,000-year world. We look forward to meeting again in the Celestial Islands continent 35,000 years from now. Festivals of Lifechanyuan. Xiefeng. April 4, 2007. First, we don't oppose people to celebrate festivals they love, that are their freedom and choice. Festival has 8 implications: congratulation and celebration, reunion, praying for good fortune, gratitude, offering sacrifice and holding memorial ceremony, praising, purifying and gathering people's hearts and keeping going. Festival has 8 major forms: natural festival, religious festival, state festival, political parties festival, cultural festival, group festival, custom festival and special festival. Lifechanyuan reveres to the greatest creator, life and nature, and follows the way of the greatest creator, so Lifechanyuan does not celebrate the following festivals. Religious festival. Such as Christmas Day, Easter Day, Vaitakan Festival, Buddha's birthday, the Ghost Festival, Ramadan, Korban Festival, Festival of Pure Man of Taoism. Festivals of a country or state. Such as National Day, Independence Day, Republic Day, Union Day, Revolutionary Festival. Political Parties Festival. Such as Party Founding Day, Army Day. Festivals of a certain person. Such as Commemoration Day, Birthday. Festivals praising of some people or possessing petty bourgeois sentiment. Such as Nurses' Day, Women's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, April Fool's Day, Youth Day, Teacher's Day, Children's Day, Journalists' Day. Far-fetched festivals. Such as International Anti-Literacy Day, World Tourism Day, International Music Day, World College Festival, Fire Control Awareness Day, International Football Day, Tree Planting Day. Regional festivals. Such as Fashion Day, the Torch Festival, Planting Day, Peony Festival, Festival of Offering a Sacrifice to Dragon, Log Drum Festival, Snow Festival, Festival of Enjoying Peach Blossom Day. Festivals related to ghost and gods. Such as Ghost Festival, God Festival, Masquerade Day. Lifechanyuan's festivals must be joyous, natural, comfortable, happy, grateful, optimistic, warm and beneficial. Such as New Year's Day, Spring Festival, Festival of Lanterns, Tomb Sweeping Day, Dragon Boat Festival, Mid-Autumn Festival, the Double Ninth Festival, the Water Sprinkling Festival. Notes: the information above is confined to Lifechanyuan, which doesn't limit the world out of Lifechanyuan. Guard against Lifechanyuan being alienated into political or religious organizations. Xiefeng. November 16, 2023. Translation edited by Chinyu. For more than 10 consecutive years, Chanyuan Celestials have faced oppression, with 13 picturesque homes forcibly demolished in Yunnan, Nanjing, Xinjiang, Guizhou, Shandong, Chongqing. Celestials have been coerced or abducted from these homes, and several tens of millions of yuan invested have gone down the drain. Even 2 cars from the Guizhou home remain confiscated to this day. Most Lifechanyuan members are under the surveillance of local governments and the police, frequently subjected to unwelcome attention. The passports of most members have been invalidated, prohibiting them from having a home within the country and also from establishing a home abroad. Especially unsettling is the image of Lifechanyuan members being bound with ropes, forced to squat on the ground, with a police officer pointing a gun at their backs. We have not yet attained the state where Mount Tai could collapse before us without changing our expression or heartbeat. The inner anger is self-evident, and thoughts and impulses of resistance have even arisen. However, considering the purpose of Lifechanyuan, particularly that it is neither a political nor a religious organization, our goal is not to oppose anything but to create an unprecedented new mode of production and living for humanity. The ultimate goal of Lifechanyuan members is to become enlightened immortals. In this world, we don't wish to be enemies or oppose any country, government, political party, religion, or individual. If Lifechanyuan were to evolve into a political or religious organization due to anger, then we would nullify our previous efforts. We would betray the core principles of Lifechanyuan and the initial intentions behind becoming Lifechanyuan Celestials. The principles of the way of nature tell us that the growth and decline of anything follow a natural evolutionary law and fate. Despite Lifechanyuan building homes everywhere over the past 15 years, the result has been one after another demolished. Surely, there is a logic to our own development and evolution, and the oppression we face follows the natural law of evolution. Because we understand that everything operates within Tao, the actions of every government and every individual cannot escape the norms of Tao. The behavior of governments is caused by the collective karma of the nation, and the actions of individuals are determined by their own causes and effects. Belief in the justice of Tao prevents the emergence of feelings of resentment. Every existence in the universe holds its own value and purpose. Each one blossoms its unique characteristics, conforming to the macrobalance mechanism of universal life. The value of Lifechanyuan's existence is to showcase a heavenly life for humanity, to present to people a beautiful future for humanity. The value of Lifechanyuan members is to show people the qualities of truth, kindness, beauty, love, faith, and sincerity, to show that within humanity, there exists a group capable of truly being selfless and unselfish. Therefore, my view is that, regardless of how harsh or adverse the conditions for survival may be, we will continue to create homes. Construction is our affair, not the government's. As for the government destroying our home, that is their affair, not ours. Each does their own job, and there is no hatred between us, nor do we need to harbor resentment. What we need to prevent is Lifechanyuan evolving into a political party or a religious organization. In 2013, at the 4th branch of Lifechanyuan in Lifechanyuan, Yunnan, I asked a captain from the local public security bureau, "You frequently visit our home, and you understand the situation here. Is there any illegal behavior from us? Is our home not good?" He said, "You haven't committed any crimes, and your home is good. But if the number of Lifechanyuan members keeps increasing, we don't know what you might do." The concerns of the public security and national security personnel are not unreasonable. I have also contemplated, currently, there are only a few hundred Lifechanyuan members. If one day the number of members increases significantly, can we still uphold the principles of Lifechanyuan? Might I develop ambitions, might my ambitions expand, might I interfere with the functions of the government? Might Lifechanyuan evolve into a political organization? Actually, I have my doubts because people change as they gain more power. Some officials, before they took office, really hated corrupt officials. But once they're in power, the higher they climb, the more they tend to become the kind of people they once detested. So, how can we prevent Lifechanyuan from evolving into a political organization? Firstly, no one can call upon other Lifechanyuan members to participate in any form of political activity. Secondly, Lifechanyuan members do not participate in politically inclined activities such as marches, demonstrations, petitions, or resistance. Thirdly, Lifechanyuan members cannot issue any political appeals or political comments in the name of Lifechanyuan. Then, how do we prevent Lifechanyuan from evolving into a religious organization? Firstly, the deification of Guide Xiefeng is prohibited. If any Lifechanyuan celestial feels displeased with Guide Xiefeng, they can express it. Any Lifechanyuan celestial, if feeling that Guide Xiefeng is attempting to impose his will on them, can directly resist. Secondly, Lifechanyuan should not be regarded as a faith-based group. Lifechanyuan is originally a way of life, a large family formed by strangers, not a faith-based group. Thirdly, there should be no religious ceremonies or personal worship within Lifechanyuan, and there should be no religious preaching venues. Political organizations have the chance to suddenly grow and develop, religious organizations have the chance to suddenly grow and develop. But Lifechanyuan does not. Lifechanyuan has been around for 20 years and has not only failed to develop but has shrunk. This is because the standards for Lifechanyuan members are too high, standards that ordinary people find difficult to reach. Even among those who have practiced for more than 10 years, many still cannot meet the highest standards of Lifechanyuan members. Therefore, the development of Lifechanyuan will be very slow. In today's era, having fewer Lifechanyuan members aligns with the development laws of human civilization. Only when substantial changes occur on Earth, when people awaken, will the number of Lifechanyuan members increase. Grass represents the most fragile form of life within the hierarchy of life. Its strength is even inferior to various insects and bacteria. Naming ourselves, Chanyuan Celestial, Chanyuan Grass in Chinese, is to convey that we are the most vulnerable group in the world. We not only lack the will to confront anyone but also lack the ability to resist any force. Therefore, by nature, grass is destined to be trampled and abused by livestock, just as Lifechanyuan members are fated to be bullied and oppressed by people. However, when all life disappears from the world, it will be surprising to discover that the earth is covered with grass. The vitality of grass is stronger than the vitality of any other life. As long as there is grass on the earth, the reproduction and proliferation of various life forms will occur again. The earth will always be filled with the vitality and energy of life. The problem of providing for the elderly, which has not been solved for 5,000 years, has finally been solved satisfactorily. Xiefeng. November 28, 2020. Most people will become elderly eventually. Do not let them reach the ends of their lives in solitude, loneliness, helplessness, and misery. It is the will of the greatest creator, the ideal of gods, Buddha, celestials, saints, and sages, and also everyone else's expectation. For 5,000 years, this unresolved problem of mankind has finally been satisfactorily resolved today. The traditional concept and method of relying on one's children to provide for their final years should come to an end. Although fond parents are legion, whoever saw a really filial child? In cases of chronic sickness, there are no dutiful children at the bedside. 5,000 years of human history tell us that relying on adult children to provide for their elderly parents is not an ideal solution. Sending elderly people to nursing homes will leave them with withered surroundings every day in the final stage of their lives. This is too cruel and is tantamount to saying, do not die at home, but go and wait for death somewhere else. In recent years, many of the elderly have joined voluntarily to mutually comfort and care for each other. This kind of living in one's old age is a helpless action and is not really an ideal model. So, where is the ideal old age support pattern for mankind and what are the contents of an ideal elderly support system? The most ideal one is in the new oasis for life created by Lifechanyuan. The details are as follows. The elderly people live together with middle-aged people, young people, and children all the time. Every day they can see energetic people around them. They live happily and joyously and forget that they are old, and they reach the end of their lives while laughing, joking, and chatting. The elderly should also live with enthusiasm, passion, vitality, and taste. It should always be made clear to them that death is only the end of life but not the end of life and that it is only a new starting point for life. After death, there will be a better place to go. It is like abandoning a boat and stepping ashore. In this way, the elderly will never again fear death, but will welcome its arrival happily. Do not let the elderly die from illness, lying helplessly in bed and waiting for death, but let them decide the day of their deaths by themselves when they feel no more worries, satisfied, and their consciousnesses are very clear. This is how I said to end life with the Lifechanyuan meditation method. Careful, sincere, and enthusiastic middle-aged or young people should always manage their daily lives. People should cook for them, prepare tea and water for them, wash their clothes, bedding, and sheets, assist in bathing them, say good morning to them when the sun rises and good night when it sets, so that they will have no worries about their futures. It has been 11 years since the new oasis for life was born on earth. 11 years of practice have proven that the above-mentioned cannot only be fully realized, but that it already has been. It is hoped that the governments of many countries will agree with our pattern of support for the elderly in the new oasis for life and its infinite merits for them that they should enjoy happily during their old age. I hope that young and middle-aged people will prepare for their old age as soon as possible and contribute their talents and financial resources to the elderly care model of the new oasis for life. Do not wait until you are old because it will be too late to consider it after the age of 60 because the new oasis for life is not a charity and the blessings that one enjoys must be accumulated by oneself. It is unfair and unjust to rely on others' dedication and sacrifices without personally accumulating one's old age care capital in advance. I hope that everyone in the world will enjoy the elderly care mode benefits of the new oasis for life. May your sunset time be more exciting than your youth or middle age. Home for soul and kingdom for freedom. Xiefeng. When I think of the life in the 1,000-year world and then I compare it with the living conditions of current people, I really understand what is called the immeasurably vast difference. This feeling just like a man who has been changed into a dog, lived among dogs, and then he speaks of the human living conditions with dogs. It is hard to avoid feeling sadness as one faces such situations. Due to the flaw of thinking coupled with the lacking of life knowledge, people cannot understand 36-dimensional space, cannot know the greatest creator, and cannot listen to the teachings of Jesus and Sakyamuni. They run about madly on the wrong paths and become farther and farther from Tao. Facing such situation, I am anxious to leave early. However, I firm my belief each time when I remind that I can go to the Elysium world and enjoy the better life than that of the 1,000-year world. I will give a focused explanation on the anti-material world after I finish the 100 chapters of the Revelation, and my mission will also be almost finished when I accomplish the anti-material world. And then it's time for me to leave. In fact, the principle of life is very easy, and the difference is that the thinking ability of people cannot reach that high. Once you have completely understood it, any profound things will be as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. I hope everyone should not regard Lifechanyuan as a religious or political organization but as a home for soul or kingdom for freedom, neither should regard Xue Feng as a king. Yaoling Celestial elect me as the king of the seeking knowledge kingdom. I can understand the mood, but that would destroy me. You should never treat me as a hierarch either. You can compare as brothers, friends, celestial friends, lovers, the small pig or old dog, but I am just me, just a tour guide. I have written a lot of articles, and many articles are nonsense for Chanyuan celestials, who should not be constrained by my nonsense. My articles are just written for the people outside Lifechanyuan, and I just try my best to find the proper people and guide them to Lifechanyuan. Without these articles' footsteps, they cannot find this life palace Lifechanyuan, and once they have entered into Lifechanyuan, these articles' footsteps become no use. All the people being granted by me as Chanyuan Celestial and start the new life course, you are the ones I am looking for. It is the grace of the greatest Creator, the blessing and guidance of God and Buddha, the good fortune made in the former life by you that we gather in Lifechanyuan from so many different places. For me, I just act under orders and come to look for you, to tell you the secret and exit of life. I don't have any merits or virtues for you, and it is not Xue Feng but the greatest Creator that you should remember forever. About Satan, what I talked about may be different from that of others, but what I want to say is that Satan shares the same importance as Jesus. Without Jesus, many people cannot go to heaven. Without Satan, the inferno will be empty. As a result, the symmetry of whole life structure will lose balance, so Satan has to guide a large quantity of life into the underworld. In this way, there are only a small amount of life go to the upper world. Jesus said that the door of life is very narrow. Only few people can find and enter into it. For example, among 1.3 billion Chinese people only about tens thousands of people can find the life door, and whether they can enter into it is still a problem, such as Kunlun Celestial, Celestial Mountain Celestial, Celestial Island Celestial, Heaven River Celestial, Brook Celestial and Crane Celestial etc. approach to the gate of life door but then retreat back. This is their sadness and also is Satan's function. Now I have completely abandoned them and withdraw the name granted. Lifechanyuan will not have those people anymore. Wish the greatest Creator pity them, wish they have a good life, wish they can catch the next lifeboat and enter into the supreme life space. Before everyone leaves the mortal world, Lifechanyuan is regarded as the home of the soul and kingdom of freedom, and please don't compare Lifechanyuan with the worldly society or religious situations, without any rights or obligations. Herein Lifechanyuan everybody acts according to his, her mind voice and emotional reaction. In Lifechanyuan, one need not do the things that one is unwilling to do, and it is unnecessary to compel oneself, certainly, nor to compel others either. At this point, I hope everyone to communicate, discuss frequently with others and to help each other but not to argue and disparage others, and the most important thing is to keep harmony. Everyone has to learn to face the greatest Creator alone, namely even without the guidance of Xue Feng in the future, everyone will be able to break through the constraint of space-time and go to the supreme life space. Although you are already very different, but strictly speaking you are still in confusion currently. It is very difficult to accept everything such as the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, Elysium world and life channels etc. in our mind, so I will try my best to explain it in antimaterial world in simple and plain words. However, the key secret can only be explained separately to you because the nature's mystery cannot be revealed easily. You should not be anxious, as we know haste makes waste, and things only can be easily settled when conditions are ready. Hospitals and doctors will disappear, on Lifechanyuan era, 6. Dayform Buddha. October 5, 2006. Finally, humankind will understand that diseases are in most cases the reflection of disability of spirit and soul. Aches in waist, leg, and bone are led by bad habits of daily lives. Misfortunes and calamities are due to the indecent consciousness. No doctor and hospital exist in plant world or animal world, yet they are healthy and live, grow, die according to Tao. There are no doctors or hospitals in my hometown, the 1,000-year world. No one sick, people all die without disease after 1,000 years. When I traveled around the 10,000-year world and the celestial islands continent of the Elysium world, no one ever heard of doctors and hospitals. Celestials who live up to 10,000 years old and 100 million years old never knew what are diseases. Only the messy man's world has such things. People who should die yet not dying and who should live yet dying are on the contrary to Tao. We can do the research and conclude that people who often get sick are mainly those obsessed with mental disorder or illness. Not being stuck, there will be no pain, and pain always comes with something being stuck. Once spirit and soul go wrong, body hurts. Some people's diseases are completely caused by bad habits of diet and daily lives. While lumbar sprain, ankle twisting, bruising, snake biting, car accident, etc. are induced by the problem of consciousness. Healthy people are magnanimous, kind, open-minded, selfless and with less desires. They are satisfied, appreciative and spontaneous. In a word, health of human body directly links to the life non-material structure of life. Be careful and you will discover an interesting phenomenon. People who can easily find doctors and hospitals are often get sick. The more medical magazines people read and the more medicines people concerned, the better chance they get sick. The thing you feared more will come to you faster. There is an article, Chasing the Sun, Escaping Darkness, in Wisdom, which means, chasing diseases, one can hardly get health. If one's mind is brimmed with concepts of disease, how can he or she be healthy? The healthcare industry of mankind is developing rapidly, which surely benefits people's health. At present, people do need doctors, hospitals and medicines. Without these, many people would suffer more. Lifechanyuan has no doubt about this, and we hope more and more good doctors, hospitals and medicines are available. The problem is, however persuasive good is, evil is still stronger. We not only don't eradicate disease, yet, diseases are on the rise, and more people get sick. The most serious problem is that people pay more and more money to treat diseases. Some people even spend all their money and are in debt. What's even worse, they are not cured and dead at last, leaving eternal misery to those who are alive. People over 60 years old should not go to hospital. Cycle of 60 years means one has already eaten what should have been eaten, drunk what should have been drunk, experienced what should have been experienced, played what should have been played. One transmigration has been done, why is still bothering? If one is healthy, keep moving on. If one is sick, destiny will call, maybe it's time to go to the next transmigration. Anyone who is valueless to his or her relatives, friends, and burdensome to society, should be easy, brave, and open-minded. There will be no doctor hospital in Lifechanyuan era. People lucky enough to enter into Lifechanyuan era are those who understand the causes of illness, soothe themselves, live healthily, cheerfully, and energetically. Everyone is shrink, everyone can heal illness. Lifechanyuan itself is the best hospital. Lifechanyuan treats diseases thoroughly, not superficially. The super wisdom is invisible, conquering the enemy without huge war, treating people without obvious medical treatment. Before treating thoroughly, I invent a method. It will only take half a day every day to practice, and every disease will be cured. Generally speaking, Chanyuan Celestial of Lifechanyuan, once stick to the Chanyuan values, would not get sick. In Lifechanyuan era, no one would get sick, country, religion, and political party disappear. Everyone has his or her job and can feed oneself. Everyone is free and independent. Why there is illness? Playing games is better than getting sick. Remember, human life leading heaven has no disease. In their previous life sick people would not enter into heaven. Lifechanyuan era is the copy of this world of heaven's 1,000-year world. Sick people can't enter into Lifechanyuan era. No doctor or hospital ever exist in Lifechanyuan era. People take care in advance and become their own doctors. How should Chanyuan Celestials care for animals and revere life? Xiefeng. January 14, 2020. Translated by Qinyu and edited by Kair. All of the 8 dogs in one of our Xanadus died, none remain. This was a revelation which informed us that there was a problem with the collective consciousness of our Chanyuan Celestials. It proved that not all the Chanyuan Celestials in the Xanadu cared for life and revered life enough. It was a sign of the imperfection of the Chanyuan Celestials' consciousnesses. At the same time, it meant that there was a huge crisis lurking in our Xanadu, because if animals died in rapid succession, then the people's survival was also in danger. If all kinds of lives grew vigorously there, then that place would be full of vigor and vitality, and its people would live happily and for a long time. Everyone's futures are related closely to other lives, and when they are indifferent to or even abusive of them, then there is no doubt that they will suffer unhappy and stressful futures. Can you imagine a person surviving in a barren desert? There is no doubt that they would not survive for very long by themselves. Why? Because there is no other life. It is only where all kinds of lives thrive and survive easily that people can live well. The 8 dogs in our Xanadu no longer exist. The main responsibility rested with the tour guide because I did not teach everyone how to care for life. It was strictly negligence on my part. Secondly, another main responsibility lied with Dinghai Celestial because I told him clearly to be responsible for feeding the dogs. This showed that Dinghai did not have a strong sense of responsibility and that he did not care for or revere life enough. It is not difficult to raise dogs. I have raised more than a dozen. Except for one dog who had a pimple on its neck and needed to be taken to the veterinary hospital for surgery, none of the others have ever had any problems which required medications or injections, and they all lived well. To raise dogs, you only need to pay attention to 5 things. The first one is to feed them fresh food at least once every day, but never to let them eat it when it gets stale. The second is to keep them warm in cold weather because dogs cannot tolerate cold weather. The third is that their homes must be kept clean. The fourth is that they must be bathed regularly to remove any parasites from them. And finally, the fifth and most important rule is to make sure that they feel your love for them. It is unlikely that a dog will get sick and die prematurely if you follow these 5 rules. How should Chanyuan Celestials care for animals and revere life? I do not need to say anything profound. I will just give you a few examples. When I was a teacher in Zhangye Body Mine No. 2 Middle School in Gansu, I kept a few cats and some chickens until the chickens were eventually discovered and eaten by weasels. The last chicken always followed a Huang wherever she went. When a Huang cooked in the kitchen, it followed her and laid at her feet. When a Huang was asleep, it laid beside the bed. The cat always walked around her, but as soon as a Huang sat down, it would jump into her arms immediately. Why was that? Because a Huang took special care of and cherished all the little animals. We raised myna birds in the 4th branch, and one day, accidentally, one of them flew out and disappeared. A Huang looked everywhere for it and shouted everywhere, "Myna, come home. Myna, come back." Suddenly, I witnessed the myna fly over from a distant eucalyptus tree straight into her arms. Do you remember Snow Leopard, our dog from the 4th branch? Aside from his being born with high spirituality, most of his skills were taught to him by a Huang. Do you know how a Huang managed and protected Snow Leopard? At night, afraid that he would be frozen, she put a thick layer of cotton cloth in the carton where he slept. After the puppy lay down, she covered him with an old cotton towel. When she heard his chirping sound at night, she knew that he needed to relieve himself, so she got up quickly and opened the door for him. After he came back, she could then fall back asleep. We had a bird park in the fourth branch. No matter whether there were pigeons or parrots, there were basically no major problems. Do you know how the birds survived? A Huang maintained their food and water every day and never missed one, otherwise the birds would have died long before. I dispute with a Huang on a lot of issues, but one thing I have to admire about her is her love for the little animals. I knew a long time ago that a Huang must be rewarded. If we treat all life kindly, then it would treat us kindly too. Today, of all the Chanyuan celestials, a Huang and I have the best living conditions. Why do we? The fundamental reason is that we have treated life kindly, and it is a reward from Tao. Sanhai Celestial and Jiao Yi Celestial should still remember that when I left Zimbabwe before April 18th, I explained to them that we must treat all the lives in the family well, even the grasses and trees, so that there will be no crises in our lives. Even small trees and grasses will help to eliminate many risks. Do you remember how I treated bees and mice kindly? Remember that in our homes, killing snakes is never allowed. Animals are more afraid of cold than people are. I raised a very smart black German Shepherd for the first time in Zimbabwe. One year in winter, it was not particularly cold. Usually, the dog slept in his doghouse in the yard, but one day as I opened the door, he insisted on coming inside. I did not normally let him in, but after he squeezed in that day, he would not leave no matter how I pushed him. After a while, I found him hiding curled up behind a sofa and looking at me pitifully. I finally realized that it was too cold outside and that the dog needed warmth. From then on, whenever it was cold, I would add more layer of insulation, even shabby blankets to his doghouse. We once had 2 kittens in the fourth branch which had been brought from Linsong by CN, but they both died soon thereafter. I will tell you why that happened. Both of them had frozen to death. After I found that one of the kittens had frozen to death, I hurriedly took the other one to my room and let it crawl into my bed, but sadly, many of its internal organs had already stopped functioning and it died the following day. I raised a few dogs when I lived in a villa next to an embassy in Zimbabwe. In the end, there were too many of them, so I gave a dog named De Huang to the girl who washed clothes for me. De Huang was tall and powerful, but he died within a few days after the girl's father brought him into their home. The girls said that ever since he brought De Huang into their house, he never ate or drank, and finally succumbed to thirst and starvation. Another 2 dogs I raised in Zimbabwe, Lem and Rambo, were both fine when I was there, but as soon as I left, they died in rapid succession. Rambo was said to have been hit by a car. Given the above examples, I want everyone to know how to love animals and revere lives. Ask yourself, have you ever cared for lives like this? If you have not, it means that the structure of your life is still too rough, and that you are not yet worthy to enter heaven. How should we establish the peaceful and warm homeland? Xiefeng. November 20, 2009. Chanyuan Celestial should be the most refined, cultivated, reasonable and civilized person. The homeland constituted by such kind of people should be peaceful, warm, bright, harmonious, joyful and happy. The love of the greatest Creator should be fully deployed here, and the love of Jesus the Christ and Buddha Sakyamuni should be realized here. The beauty of nature should be deployed here. If we can't approach these, we will feel ashamed in front of the greatest Creator, Jesus the Christ, Buddha, and the nature. We will set up a model of lifestyles for human beings on earth, and build the homeland into a warm, peaceful, bright, joyful and happy place. Only by filling up the abyss of misery and bring human beings out of sufferings will we worthy the name of Lifechanyuan Celestials, will we be able to pay off the debts which have been accumulated in many lifetimes, will we be able to accumulate ample capitals, so that we can come and go freely in unlimited time and space. A peaceful and warm homeland should be established like this. Revere the greatest Creator, life and nature, follow the way of the greatest Creator. Stick to 800 values for new era human being. Conflict resolution in humans' consciousness is through love rather than promoting Lifechanyuan values through arguing, disputing, struggling, or battling. Be patient with those who are unwilling to accept our value and permit them to think about this for a period of time. Be sure to carry out our practice like a Chinese saying, when a melon is ripe, it falls off its stem. When water flows, a channel is formed. Do not disturb other people's belief system. No matter which religion organization, which group of self-refinement, which political party or government they might be, we will not disturb them. We only follow our own way without hurting other people. We will not criticize and disturb them, and we will not say that we are the only correct one. We advocate, let 100 flowers blossom and 100 schools of thought contend. Fragrant flowers attract butterflies. Chanyuan celestials should set up examples for human beings through their outstanding qualities and behavior instead of highlighting themselves through preaching or arguing. We revere and love life. We would hurt nobody, even demons and ghosts and all sorts of evil spirits, let alone flowers, birds, insects and human beings. We refuse any forms of struggling, and we would never force other life to accept our concepts in the name of justice. Other people could hurt us, but we would never hurt other people. Brothers, sisters and lovers of the homeland must be amiable to each other and no blaming. We should not educate each other, we should perfect ourselves first rather than staring other people's shortcomings, especially those celestials who contributed to the construction of Lifechanyuan a lot, the celestials of spirit level and management level and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. We must not try to teach or instruct other celestials but should give a demonstration. Bear in your mind that in Lifechanyuan, education and instruction is the guide's business, not yours. Your business is to demonstrate your genuineness, goodness, beauty, love, faith and honesty through your words and action. You just need to do your job well, trying not to be above others, trying not to be a leader, for the homeland is neither a religion organization nor a political party. There is no leading or being led, govern or being governed here. Every celestial is the baby of the greatest creator, and the follower of Jesus the Christ, Buddha Sakyamuni, celestial Lao Tzu, and Prophet Muhammad. Every celestial is the dearest of guide Shui Feng. So, in our homeland, no mental, psychological and physical hurt is permitted on the celestials, not one jot or title will be permitted. We will try to make all celestials enjoy a happy and free lifetime and a beautiful future. Any idea or practice to force one's will on the celestials is totally wrong. It is the guide's as well as everybody's duty to protect our loved ones from any mental, psychological and physical hurt. In the aspect of sex in the homeland, it is open and free, but there is no permission for any attempt to seduce, lure, threat, harass or control other people according to Chanyuan values. Making love is an advanced and beautiful dance of two souls with same values, rather than a way to release sex desire. No stable and special relationship is permitted among celestials except for some historical relationship, such as husband and wife, parent and children. The stable and special relationship will be harmful to the harmony of the homeland and it might be dragged into the swirl of secular world. Every celestial should pay off the debts, free from worldly attachment, accumulate merits and create a beautiful future all by himself. What the homeland provides is a foundation and circumstance for each celestial rather than dealing with personal affairs in secular world. One must be responsible for his wrongdoings and take the consequences. Any intention of obtaining happiness from the homeland without personal endeavor and devotion is illusion, because it deviates from justice and fairness, which is the way of the greatest creator. Therefore, no selfishness and laziness are permitted here. If you don't give in this home, there is no way you will have the right of enjoying the happy life in the homeland. History has given us a golden chance for sublimating our quality of life, and this age also give us a chance of demonstrating our genuineness, goodness, beauty, love, faith and honesty. People will be facing with more and more crises and dangers, and there will be a period of hard times in future. We should bring hope for people and create a beautiful future for human beings. In such a perilous and harsh moment, it is what the greatest creator has blessed us and what Tao has glorified us. We must hold firm faith and belief without a second changing, and devote all we have into the construction of the homeland, into this great career for human happiness. To be selfish you have to be unselfish first, to be somebody you have to be nobody first. The secret of becoming celestials lies in here. This is way of construction of a peaceful and warm homeland, this is the way of creating Lifechanyuan for human beings, this is the way of self-fulfillment. How to get along with each other in Lifechanyuan. Xiefeng. December 22, 2009. All Chanyuan celestials have obtained life visas and are the loyal disciples of Jesus Christ, Buddha Shakyamuni, Celestial Lao Tzu, Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, relatives of Xiefeng, the tour guide of Lifechanyuan, and blessed children of the greatest Creator. The relationships between Chanyuan celestials are as brothers, sisters, relatives, and lovers. All Chanyuan celestials must love, care for, encourage, and forgive each other. They share common beliefs, common values, common hobbies, and a common future. Among these are having no conflicts of interest, no differences of nobility and lowliness, no quarreling or fighting, and no irreconcilable contradictions. The excellent qualities of Chanyuan celestials should be reflected first in their relationships with each other. When brothers and sisters encounter difficulties, we must do our best to help them by never turning a blind eye or a deaf ear to them. We must share weal and woe together, and when they are unhappy, we must never gloat or ridicule them, but make them feel loved with warm and passionate words, enlighten them with wise words, let them know that they are not alone, and that we are all with them and care about them.